Hi, it's Anna Jyoti from the School of Fine Tuning and Body and Soul Training, and I was on a Zoom call doing an online level 3 aromatherapy, and I was talking to my student and I was sharing with something that I always teach my level 3 aromatherapy students, and she said I should explain it on a video, so I think it's really cool. So when I start introducing essential oils, I always think of the essential oils because on the level 3 training, we look at about 35, 40 different oils. It's an ongoing project to collect them, because when you come on the training, I recommend that you buy about 15 of them to start with. And then over time, you can collect around 45 of them. Anyway, I always liken it to, as a teacher, you start a new term and you stand in front of your classroom and there are 30 or 40 new children or adults. In my situation, I work in Brockenhurst College, which is an FE college, and I teach 16 to 19-year-olds. And so I'm standing in front of a new classroom, and you, on your first day, your very first day, well, first of all, you don't know anybody. You sort of go around and everybody tells you their name, and you welcome everybody and you get to know them. And on the first day, you know, there's a few girls or boys, I'll call them characters, because it really is about characters. So there's a few characters that stand out, and you go, oh, I really loved Rose, and Jasmine was really lovely, and Geranium was nice, I really liked her, and Rosemary was cool. And you get a feel on the first day for those that you really like. And then when you've been with them for a week, they start to really stand out, and you're like, oh my goodness, I really like Rose. Rose is brilliant, and she's really good at calming everybody. When everybody's stressed, Rose just calms everybody down. And you know, Jasmine's got this sort of sassiness about her. And then there's Lemongrass. It's all like, you know, me, and all like really loud. It's all about her, and you have to sort of calm her down. And as you get to know each characteristic, you get to know what they're really good at. So they might have one really strong characteristic that they're really good at. And then you're like, after a little bit of time, you get to see that one might be a bit of an all-rounder and might have qualities of doing a few things. And sometimes they're really good at a couple of things, like 2 or 3 things really good at. And then you start to set them tasks and you group them together and you put them in groups of 3. And you can see which one of them really stands out in the group of 3, that you'll have one that's like the real dominant character and really leads the group, and you'll have one that sort of sits back and just sort of like in the background, sort of keeping everything held together. And then you might get that person who's the one that steps back and holds everything together and is quite solid and grounding in the group. And then you will put them with another group of 3 and move them to work with somebody else. And they might be, all of a sudden, they might be the star of the show, and they might shine and stand out. And so when you're blending oils together, you're looking at how oils play nicely together, and who stands out and who sits back and who's quite sturdy in the middle, and who leads the group, and who leads what's the big intention for the group. And then you might put some oils together and they just do not work well together at all. You're just like, oh my goodness, no way. They really sort of, you know, rub each other the wrong way, so you wouldn't put them together. And so whenever I'm explaining about different oils, we go through all the oils. And one of my students, you know, thought about each one of them as rock stars and pop stars and actors and actresses, and really was able to learn about their characteristics that way. And, you know, one's like a big mama with a big, you know, big bosom and a big hug, and one's just like a super sexy chick, and then there's like very stable and sensible. And as we look at the properties and the compounds and look at their their characteristics and their therapeutic properties, you really get a good feel about how they behave, and when you need them and when you don't want them, and how, you know, in front of a classroom there'll be times when, you know, you really feel on form with the group, or with your oils, or with the individual characters, and then there's times when you really can't deal with them, and you're looking at your own mood and your own cycle, or for your clients, like their own mood and their own cycles, and trying to sort of work with the different characteristics at different times of phases of their monthly cycle, the yearly cycle, the seasonal cycle, because the oils can have so many benefits throughout the seasons, throughout each mood. So what's the presenting conditions, and how you're going to work with the oils with presenting conditions. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really nice to get to know everybody really individually, and spend a bit of time with each character for a little bit of time, and see how your relationship is with them. Some people are really like resolute, they don't like this, they don't like that, and that's absolutely fine, because we all have tastes. Like, you know, I might go like, oh, I really like lavender, and somebody else goes like, I can't stand her. And again, with lemongrass, you know, lemongrass is one of those, I always think of her as like center of attention, like me, it's all about me. They come forward like, woo! But actually, when you put lemongrass in with lime and ginger and black pepper, and look at the synergy between them, then lemongrass can sort of just sit back a little bit. And then there's times when you want lemongrass to really come forward. So these are the theories around the blending, the synergy, and how we look at them, and where we place the oils in a blend. Sometimes we're looking at them purely for a therapeutic property, and sometimes we're looking at them really to sort of get a synergy blend, so that it really smells like beautiful, and the harmony and the balance of the oils works. So these are some of the things that we talk about. We always also look at the biochemistry and the chemical constituency and the energetics of essential oils. We talk about the chemical compounds and the breakdown of the molecules on the smallest quantum parts, and how each of those biochemical components react with the body and vibrate, and their frequency matches the body field to heal and repair any distortion in the body field. So we talk about the quantum energetic realm of essential oils. We're talking a little bit about distillation processes and extraction processes. So lots to talk about, but I wanted to share with you how I look at the oils when I'm teaching them, and how I introduce them, so that you can really get to know them as a group, like a big group, and actually befriend them. They become your team, and they become your class, or they become you know, who you associate yourself with, your community. My goodness, they're like a community. So yeah, usually at the School of Fine Tuning, it's a 2-day classroom, level 3, where we talk about this, but because it's not a hands-on application, I'm really focusing on teaching this via Zoom, and you get your oils, and when we've all got our oils together, we will all use and smell the oils together and give our verdict on Zoom about the particular oil that we're working with or smelling. So we'll work with individual oils, we'll work with synergy of oils and blending. You can go away, there are case studies to do, so you'll go away and do your blending, then we'll come back and we'll discuss our blends and who they're for and why you've chosen them. And other options, if your clients didn't like the smell, you know, what else can be used. So essential oils are brilliant. I've also been doing just aromatherapy for you, which is sort of how to use essential oils in your home. So it's not a practitioner qualification, it's just how you're going to use them in your home. If anybody's still interested in learning that, that goes for now, and for when we return to whatever our new life, our new earth is. But the good thing is the essential oils are not going away, they're staying. And they can really help support with stress and anxiety and respiratory issues and immunity, And so they work very much holistically. They work on the mind, on your body, the physical, the physiology, on the mental, emotional, and also your soul and spiritual journey. They really support you holistically through everything. There are many oils that you can work with that support you holistically on those levels. You get your favorite oils that, I collect my favorite oils. So I've got 5 or so different frankincenses because that's my favorite. I've got a few different vetivers. And I also collect lavenders. Lavender for me is an interesting one because there's so many variables and so many species that it's interesting to see how they are. There's so much to discuss with you. This is a long process to indulge yourself in, but while you've got time, why not consider taking a level 3 aromatherapy? You have to have a level 3 anatomy and physiology to access this course. If you don't have that, I can teach that to you as well. You can do an online home study of that with my support, or I teach it in the classroom as well down here in Bournemouth when the separation distancing is lifted and we're back open. I invite you to come to the seaside and have a wonderful weekend here doing some more training. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope you find that interesting and helpful. And check below is the link to my website. It's theschooloffinetuning.com. I also have a business called bodyandsoultraining.co.uk where I have regional practitioners. So if any courses, if you can't get to Bournemouth, people do fly down here, but at the moment, again, with all the restrictions, you can see any of my lovely team around the country. So thank you so much for your time, and if you can share this, it'll be great, and then everybody else can have a little giggle and enjoy this. So I hope that helps.